Imagine building powerful, data-rich admin interfaces with React in days instead of weeks. Hey everyone, my name is Vishwas, and in today's video, I'll show you how easy it is to create admin applications for your clients in a fraction of the usual time using the React admin library. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create admin panels for your existing applications in under 30 minutes. Now, what is React admin? React Admin is an open source React framework that lets you build admin panels and dashboards with ease. It uses popular libraries in the React ecosystem, such as Material UI, React Router, React Query, and React Hook Form to simplify the process. Let's head to VS Code and build our first admin app with React Admin. Our application setup includes two parts: a React app as the client, and a JSON server to serve data that the React app can consume. Since we are focusing on learning React admin, and your data source could potentially be anything, we will rely on a pre-configured JSON server. If you navigate to the GitHub link in the description box, you will find the source code, which you can copy and paste into the editor of your choice. In VS Code, I have opened a folder called React Admin Demo, and as you can see, I have already copied the RA server folder contents from GitHub. It is a straightforward npm package with one dependency: JSON server. It is important that you install this specific version of JSON server, as the latest version isn't stable yet. There is also a db.json file which serves as our data source. It is a JSON with two entries: categories and posters. You can run the JSON server using the command node JSON server, which is our file name. If you open the browser and navigate to localhost 3000, you should see our JSON server up and running. Assuming we are a small store that sells posters, we have two routes set up: categories and posters. We will use this data of categories and posters as our data source for the admin application. Our backend is ready. Let's now shift our focus to the front end, which is a React application. We're going to use Vite to scaffold a new React TypeScript app. In a new terminal, within the React Admin Demo project folder, run the command npm create Vite at latest ra-app, which is the folder name, and the template is React TypeScript. Once the command completes, navigate into the app folder, so cd ra-app, and install the dependencies with the command npm install. Run the command npm run dev, and our React app should be up and running at localhost port 5173. Let's make some small changes. In index.html, add the Roboto font for MUI. Next, in the index.css file, comment out all the styles, and in the body tag, set the margin to 0 and the font family to Roboto. Now that we have the basic setup in place, let's proceed with setting up and using the React admin library. We will install two packages. So, in the RA app folder, run the command npm install react-admin and ra-data JSON server. Here, React admin is the core package, and ra-data JSON server is the data provider that works with our JSON server. Once the installation completes, let's set up the root component of our application in source app.tsx. In a React admin app, the admin component serves as the root component. We will import it at the top and use it as the top-level component in our JSX. This component lets us configure application adapters, routes, and the user interface. The admin component accepts a data provider prop, which provides data from the source. In our case, we will import the JSON server provider from the data JSON server package invoke it with the URL to our JSON server, and assign it to a constant called data provider. We pass this in as a prop to the admin component. Data provider is equal to data provider. Default export the app component. Within the admin component, we can nest one or more resource components. Resource components define the CRUD routes of a React admin application. Let's import and invoke the resource component. The component accepts a name prop. The prop informs React admin to fetch the corresponding records from the JSON server. For example, if we set name to posters, corresponding to this entry in our db.json file, React admin will automatically fetch the posters JSON. Once the data has been fetched, the next step is to display it. The resource component also defines the React components to use for each CRUD operation. And the best part is that React admin can guess the configuration for you. To display the list of posters, we import the list guesser component from React admin and pass it in as a value to the list prop on the resource component. So list is equal to list guesser, and make sure to import it at the top. If we save the file and restart the dev server with npm run dev, and make sure to remove the last /, and take a look at the browser, we should see our list of posters being displayed. And this list is already functional. You can sort by clicking on column headers, or change pages using the bottom pagination controls. With just 12 lines of code, we have fetched and displayed data from our server. It's really that simple. Now, the list guesser component isn't intended for use in production. It is just a quick way to bootstrap an admin panel. This means you'll need to replace the list guesser component for a resource with a custom React component. Fortunately, list guesser outputs the component code to the console. Copy that code, head back to your editor, and create a new file in a components folder named posterlist.tsx. Paste the code into this file, head over to app.tsx, and replace the list guesser component with poster list. Make sure to import the component at the top. Our list view will continue to work as expected. Now that we understand how to display data, the other three CRUD operations, namely update or edit, delete, and create, follow a similar pattern. Let's tackle them one by one, starting with update, also referred to as edit. To allow an admin to edit a record, specify the edit prop on the resource and assign the edit guesser component. Once again, make sure to import it from React admin. Head to the browser and click on a record in the list. You will be navigated to the edit view. Open the console, copy the guessed edit component code, and back in VS Code, within the components folder, create a new file, posteredit.tsx, and paste the code. Then in app.tsx, update the edit prop to use the poster edit component. Make sure to import it at the top. As you can see, this is very similar to the poster list feature. Let's head back to the browser and test this out. Click on a record with ID is equal to 1, and you should see the edit view as before. The route will update to reflect the ID, which is 1, and we see the record represented as poster number 1. Number 1 corresponding to ID. Let's update the width to 20 and height to 22. Scroll down, click the Save button, and you can see The record has been updated. You can reload the page and you'll see that the data has indeed been saved to the JSON server. A nice feature of the edit route is that it also includes the delete functionality. So for ID 2, scroll down and at the bottom right, you'll find the delete button. Click the button and the record will be deleted. We no longer see the record with ID is equal to 2 in the list. You can also delete records directly from this list view. Select one or more records, let's say ID 9 and 10, using the checkboxes, and click the delete button top right. ID 9 and 10 have been deleted. What is even better is that you get undo functionality out of the box for both edit and delete operations. Let's try it out. Click on the record with ID is equal to 1. Update the height and width, let's say 25 both. And click on Save. The record is updated, but now we can click on Undo in the snack bar below. The changes are immediately reverted. Similarly, click on the record again. ID is equal to 1. Scroll down and click Delete. The record has been removed, but clicking Undo will bring it back. No extra effort is required. Finally, let's implement the create operation. Creating is very similar to editing. So in the components folder, duplicate, poster edit, rename to poster create.tsx, and replace the edit component from React admin with the create component. Rename the component as well. In app.tsx, add a new prop, create is equal to poster create.tsx component. Make sure to import it at the top. And now, back in the browser, in the list view, you will see a create button. Clicking this button will take you to the create view. Fill in the details. And click Save. Back in the list view, navigate to the last page, and you should see the newly added record, ID 100. As you can see, with React admin, implementing CRUD operations for an entire entity like posters is a matter of minutes. Let's repeat this for the categories entity from db.json to fully understand how straightforward it is with React admin. In app.tsx, duplicate the resource component and change the name to categories. Add the list and edit props and assign list guesser and edit guesser. Head to the browser and you should see a new entry in the sidebar for categories. The entity has two fields as you can see, ID and name. Open the console and copy the list guesser component code. Create a new file, category list.tsx, and paste it. Next, click on a record. Select the category edit guesser component. Create a new file, category edit.tsx, and paste the code. Duplicate this file. Rename it to category create and replace edit with create. Back in app.tsx, update list to category list, edit prop to category edit, and create prop to use category create. If you get rid of the unwanted imports, save the file, and head back to the browser, we will see our category list. Clicking on a record will open the edit view. You can edit and save changes. Click again to delete and use undo to restore the record. Click the create button to add a new record. In the second page, you can see ID 20 name test. As you can see, CRUD operations for an entire entity can be implemented in about 5 minutes. Nothing else comes quite close to this. With the CRUD operations implementation now clear, let's focus on customization for the second half of this video, as it's a crucial aspect of any admin application. The field components like text field, number field, etc. accept a few props that let you customize their appearance and behavior. For instance, you can add the label prop to customize the column label. Let's set label is equal to width in centimeters and height in centimeters for the width and height columns. Head back to the browser and you will see the updated labels. Another useful prop is the SX prop, which allows you to style the column values. For the sales column, let's specify SX is equal to font weight bold. In the browser, you will see the values displayed in bold. Another valuable prop is the empty text prop, which enables you to render specific content instead of leaving the value empty. As an exercise, I encourage you to add a new poster with some empty values and specify the empty text prop to confirm that the prop value is indeed displayed. Now we can also use other field components. For example, for the thumbnail, we can use the image field component. So image field, make sure to import it from React admin. Specify a title is equal to title of the record, which is pretty much the poster name. And we also specify some styles. Head to the browser, and we see a preview of the image. And if you ask me, this is much better. Apart from customizing through props and the component type, it's also possible to write custom field components. At the moment, this image link appears as a text field. Let's write a custom field component to convert it into a clickable link. In the posterlist.tsx file, define a new component called URL field that accepts a source prop similar to other fields. To access the entire record with all the values, we use the useRecordContext custom hook. So const record is equal to useRecordContext, and make sure to import it from React admin. If the record doesn't exist, return null. Otherwise, return an anchor element with href set to the property of the record. Target is equal to blank. And for the text, we can say view. Now, for source is equal to image, instead of the text field, we can make use of the URL field. If we head back to the browser, we see the view link. Clicking on it will open the link in a new tab. The image is the same as the thumbnail in our case, but you get the idea. However, it is not ideal that clicking on the view link also navigates us to the edit view. This is because of the row click is equal to edit prop. To fix this, we can remove the prop and instead add a separate edit button column. So from React admin, import edit button and add it to the end of the grid. Back in the browser, you will now see the edit button. The view column no longer opens the edit route. Perfect. Let's continue. Now you might have noticed this already, but what's really nice with React admin is that it knows how to take advantage of foreign keys to fetch references. The category ID, when we click on it, will take us to the edit view of the corresponding category object. ID 5, name city. But instead of rendering the category ID field as 1, 2, 5, etc., it would be nice to display the category name. On the reference field, with source is equal to category ID and reference is equal to category, invoke the text field component with source is equal to name. If we now head back to the browser, you can see the category name, which is perfect. Now, to optimize this reference field feature, React admin will deduplicate the request and only make one call to the categories JSON. You can see in the network tab, there's no individual categories request for each category ID. It is just one request for improved performance. When you click on the category, for example, beard, you are redirected to the category record. You see the category ID and the name. Now the route heading says category number 2. We can customize this representation of the record using the record representation prop. In app.tsx, on the resource component, specify record representation, and we specify name, which is the category name, instead of ID, which is the default. Head back to the browser, and we see the category name, which is much better. All right, let's conclude this video by taking a look at 2 advanced features. First up, filtering the grid. To add filters, we can make use of the filter list component from React admin. In the components folder, create a new filterlist.tsx file. Begin by importing the relevant components. We need filter list and filter list item for the feature. And for the UI, we need card, card content, and category icon from Material UI. We will define the component with some styles applied to the card and nest the card content component. So the component name is poster filter sidebar. We invoke the card with some styles and the card content nested inside. For the content, we make use of filter list. The label for the filter is category, and we set an icon, category icon. The different options for the filter are set using filter list items. So, filter list item, add a label called animals, and value is equal to an object with key category underscore ID set to 1. We get the label and value from our categories JSON. You can create a list item for each filter, perhaps using the map method. However, to keep this simple, I'll manually add 4 more categories as filter items. Our filter list component is complete. To include this in the poster list component, on the list component, specify the aside prop and assign poster filter sidebar. This component we just defined. Make sure to import the component at the top. If we head back to the browser, we have our filters on the side. Selecting a category will show posters corresponding only to that value. Now you can also easily add a live search filter. In filterlist.tsx, from React admin, import filter live search. Invoke the component within the card content. You now get a live search filter that updates based on the filter value. For the final feature, I want to show you how to create a configurable grid. One that allows you to dynamically select which columns to show or hide and reorder the columns as needed. In posterlist.tsx, begin by importing a few components from React admin. Top toolbar, select Columns button, Export button, and Data Grid configurable. Then define a new component called Poster List Actions, which will render the top toolbar component. Nested inside are Select Columns button component and Export button component. Next, on the list component, replace the Data Grid component with Data Grid configurable. On the list component, add a new prop, Actions, and assign Poster List Actions. If we now head back to the browser, we will see the Select Columns button. Click the button, and you'll be able to toggle which columns should be visible. And you can also reorder them as needed. For example, we can move thumbnail as the second column, a key feature when implementing admin panels. Now, the export button, of course, is from before and will export a CSV file that you can work with. To be honest, we have just scratched the surface of what React Admin can help you achieve. Please refer to the documentation for a complete list of supported features. Specifically, on the features page, you can read about relationships, searching and filtering, forms and validation, roles and permissions, audit log, calendar, tree view, I18N, and a lot more. This video covers Vite, but you can also use Next.js or Remix. With nearly 24,000 GitHub stars, React Admin is a great addition to your React skill set. Alright, thank you for watching. And if you're interested in me creating a new React playlist with version 19, make sure to leave a comment. I'll see you in the next one.